Om Sairam. Stavana Manjari. A humble tribute of praise to Sri Sainath by Dasganu Maharaj. I bow down to you, Sri Ganesh, O Mayureshwara, you are the one on whom we depend. O son of Gauri, the all-knowing, O you inconceivable one, you with an immeasurable belly, protect me, O Sri Ganapati. You are the first and foremost of all the Ganas and of all the deities. Therefore you are called Ganesh. You are acknowledged by all the Shastras. You of sacred continents, O Bhalachandra. O Sharada, goddess of speech, you are the mistress of the realm of worlds. Because of your existence, all worldly transactions are carried on. The deity revered by all authors. You are eternally the pride of this nation. Your infinite power prevails everywhere. I bow to you, Jagadambe. You are the supreme spirit and beloved of the saints, incarnation human form of Pandari Raya. You are the ocean of kindness and infinite compassion, O Panduranga Narahari. You who controls the world like a puppeteer with his strings. You are omnipresent. All the sciences and secret books are still dwelling to plumb the essence of your nature. Those who are pedagogues, to them you are not reduced, O Chakrapani. All those foolish people only indulge in the jugglery of words. Only the saints understand you, others remain baffled. To you, my obeisance, respectful and with my whole body prostrate in veneration before you. O you five-headed Shankara, O you wearer of garland of skulls, O you blue-throated Digambara, O you Brahmarupa Pashupati, one who recites your name all the time, his worldly adversities are immediately dissolved, such as O Durjati, the power of your name. With obeisance at your feet, I am writing this paean of praise. Help me always to complete this mission, O you Nilakanta, the blue-throated one. Now let me bow to the son of Aarti, to the family deity of Indra, to Tukaram and all other saints, so also to all the devotees. Hail, hail to you, Sainath, Redeemer of sinners and merciful one. I lay my head down at your feet. Now give me your protection. You are the whole world, the abode of bliss. You yourself are Vishnu, the paragon among men, one whose wife is Uma. You are also that enemy of Cupid. You are God in human form. You are the sun in the sky of knowledge. You are the ocean of kindness. You are the antidote for worldly maladies. You are the Chintamani of the poor and the downtrodden. You are the divine purifier for your devotees. You are a raft for those drowning in worldliness. You are the refuge of the timid. You are the very cause of this creation, that which is pure Chaitanya. You are that, O very treasure of compassion. The universe is only one of your Leelas. You are not born. Death also does not affect you. This is the final conclusion, which one arrives at after a thoughtful search. Birth and death, these concepts are born of ignorance. From both you are free, O Lord of course. If water appears as a spring, does it imply that its source is there? It existed already, full and flush, merely sprung from within the earth. Water that springs up in a hollow is therefore not so described or named. A spring becomes its proper name. Without the water, it is only a hollow. To spring up and to dry up and disappear, this is not the nature of water. Because the water of the spring has no importance for the hollow it fills. It's only the hollow that is mistakenly proud of itself rather than the water that filled it. Therefore, when the water dries up, the hollow becomes impoverished. The human body is really like the hollow water bed. The spirit is like the pure, clean water of the spring. Although there are innumerable such hollows, the essence is the same in everyone. Therefore, you, who are without a beginning, I say to you, merciful one, to destroy the mountain of ignorance, please become the thunderbolt of Indra. Until now, such hollows have existed in large numbers on this earth. Many more exist even now, and in the future, and as time goes by, many more will come. Each such hollow is given a separate and different name and appearance. That is how in this world they are identified. Therefore, to distinguish that spirit in terms of you and me is not proper, because as there is no duality, that itself is most surely the spirit. And since the spirit truly encompasses the whole world, then the you and me, the duality concept, how can it possibly entertain? Water latent in the clouds is all the same, but when it descends upon the earth, it assumes different forms. That which falls in the Godavari bed is known as the river Godavari. That which falls into a well does not have the same worthiness or prestige. Saints are the river Godavari, and you are the water in it. We are the puddles, wells, and lakes. That is the difference between us. For the fulfillments of our lives, we must surrender to you, always with folded hands, because you are the embodiment of piety. It is due to its waterbed that the waters of Godavari have become holy. Considered merely as water, it's the same everywhere, everywhere. The bed of Godavari that is considered as truly sacred owes all its sanctity to the quality of land through which it flows. The water latent in the clouds does not alter that part of the earth on which it falls, yet that very part of the earth is called Godavari by the scholars of the sacred books. Where the water has fallen elsewhere, it has acquired the qualities of the soil of those places. Contaminated, bitter, salty, it becomes the originally sweet. Same is the case with you, O Guru Raya, in whom there is no impurity of 6 vices. To that holy form, that this title saint is befitting. Therefore, saints are Godavari, so full of grace among all the beings, your place is the highest. From the beginning of creation, Godavari has been in existence. It's been full of water, and it has never lacked it till today. Look, the enemy of Ravan came to the banks of Godavari, but its water has flowed, and the water at present is not the same as old water. The bed alone remains the same. The waters have flowed into the ocean. The sanctity is eternal of the riverbed to this day. Each year the old water goes and the new flow into the riverbed. It's a law, as you know. A century is like a year. The sages of that century are like the flowing waters, while the great souls are like the waves on the water. Of these saints who are like Godavari in the early centuries, there was a great flood of Sanat, Sanak, Sanandan, followed by Narada and Tumbar. Dhruv, Prahlad, powerful King Bali, Shabari, Angad, Vayukumar, Vidur, Gopi, Gopika. Thus, many came the present time. In each of the centuries in the past, the floods came repeatedly, which I am unable to recount. In this present century, the sacred Godavari has for certain flooded this land in your form, O Sainath. Therefore, at your divine feet, I make obeisance. Maharaj of my faults, take no notice, I plead. I am a poor, wretched, ignorant man, the greatest of sinners, ridden with vices, but do not cast me off. The inherent defects of iron are ignored by Parisa. The small streams of the village, Lendi and Uhuhol, are not rejected by the Godavari. I am full of vices within. By your merciful glance, do quickly destroy them. This only is the plea of Das. If after coming in contact with the Parisa, the iron's inherent defects do not change Guruvara, then it is the discredit of the Parisa. Don't let me be a sinner. Don't belittle yourself. Look, you're Parisa. I am the iron. My discharge is your concern too. A child always commits mistakes, but a mother does not scold. Remembering this, grant me your grace. O Sadguru Sainath, you are my Kalpataru. You are the means of crossing the worldly ocean. You alone are so undoubtedly. You are Kamadhenu. You are Chintamani. You are the sun in the sky of knowledge. You are the great mine of virtues. Oh, you are the ladder to heaven. O pious purest one. O embodiment of peace and bliss. O the Supreme Self. O the non-dual one, the ocean of knowledge. O the incarnation of the Supreme Wisdom, the best among men. O abode of forgiveness and peace. O refuge of devotees. Bless me, bless me. You are the Sadguru Machinder. You're the Mahatma Jalandhar. You're Nivritinath, Dhyaneshwar, Kabir, Sheikh Muhammad, Eknath, you're Bodla, you're Savatamali, you're truly Ramdas, you're Tukaram Sainath, you're Shaka, you're Manik Prabhu. Your present manifestation and your manifold nature are really difficult to understand. The knowledge about your caste and creed you do not reveal to anybody. Some say you are a Muslim, some say you are a Brahmin. Just like Krishna, you too are inscrutable. Having observed Sri Krishna, different people called him by various names. Some call him Yadubhushan, some call him a cowherd. Yashoda called him a darling. Kansa called him the great evil. Uddhava called him beloved. Arjun called him omniscient. Thus, O Guruvara, to you according to each person's conclusion based on his mental attitude, names are given by them. The masjid being your dwelling and your ears not being pierced, noting your offering the Fatiha, to call you a Muslim is logical. Similarly, considering the worship of fire as done by you, Lord of Mercy, my own conclusion is that you are a Hindu. But these superficial differences would interest only pedagogues. But for those devotees desirous of knowledge, they are of no consequence. You are Brahma itself. Caste and greed have no relevance to you. You are the Guru Supreme. You are the creator of this world. There was Hindu-Muslim rivalry. Therefore, to bring about unity and amity, the masjid and the fire worship are embraced by you. To show your Leela to the devotees. You are beyond caste and greed. You are Brahman, the essence of truth. You are that, verily. You are beyond human conception. Giving free rein to surmises and conjectures, arguments have flourished about you. There, my insignificant words, how will they prevail? But when I behold you, I cannot remain silent. Because for encomium, words are normally the only means. Therefore, by means of words, whatever description is possible, that I will always prefer, with your grace. Saints are reckoned higher than gods. For distinctions such as mine and thine find not a place in their proximity. Hiranyakashipu and Ravana were killed because of that hatred of gods. Such a deed has never been done by saints. Gopichand in the heap of garbage buried Jalandhara. But that sage had no rancor for that act. On the contrary, the king was delivered from the material world and was immortalized. Such is the prowess of the saints. It is indescribable. Saints are the sun. Their grace is illuminating. Saints are as pleasing as the moon. Their benignness is as gentle as moonlight. Saints are the soothing musk. Their blessings are like its fragrance. Saints are the juicy sugarcane. Their blessings are like its sweetness. Saints towards the good and the bad are the same, definitely. On the contrary, the love for the sinners is immeasurable. In the waters of the Godavari, only the soil floats come to be cleaned. The clean ones in a trunk remain far from the Godavari banks. Even that which remained in the trunk came once to be cleansed thoroughly on the Godavari banks. The trunk is eternal abode. You are the Godavari, unshakable faith in the cart. All beings are the garments full of the impurities comprising 6 vices. The darshan of your feet is like a bath in the Godavari. Wash away my sins, O Sainath, O Samat, and purify me. We worldly people gather layers of impurities again and again. Therefore, we are the right people for the darshan of saints. The abandoned waters of the Godavari comes to wash to be cleansed at the ghats. If it is really left unattended, then it is a discredit to the Godavari. You are the cool shady tree with abandoned foliage. We are the travellers really, suffering from the scorching sun rays of the threefold calamities of life. From that blazing heat, O compassionate one, protect us, O Guru Raya. The benign grace of your cool shade is extraordinary. Sitting under a tree, if one feels the heat of the sun, then who will call that tree the shade-giving tree? Look, without your grace, nothing can be right in the world. Seshasai befriended Arjuna to behold the right. Due to the kindness of Sugriv, Vibhishana came in contact with King Ram. It is due to the saints that Sri Hari is thus glorified. Brahman being formless, Vedas cannot describe it. By endowing it with forms, the saints have reduced the importance of the formless. Vaikuntapati, husband of Rukmini, was made a Mahar by Damaji to pick up corpses of buffaloes. Chokamela made Jagat Atma a slog. Knowing the prowess of saints, Jagjeevan labored by carrying water. Saints have truly labored over God Himself, who is eternal truth, knowledge, bliss. There is no need to speak more. You are our mother and our father. O Sadguru Sainath, dweller of Shidi village, Baba, your Leelas no one can truly comprehend. Then my plebeian speech, how can it do justice? Tell me. To save the sinners, you came to Shidi. Pouring water into earthen lamps, you made them burn. The wooden plank of absurdly small measures, you turned into your bed truly, thereby displaying to the devotees your amazing yogic powers. The barrenness of many women you have completely dispelled. The disease of many you have cured with the Udi. To ward off worldly difficulties is not impossible for you. The weight of an ant does the elephant consider as a burden? No. So be it, Guru Raya. Have mercy on the humble one. I surrender at your feet. Do not turn me away. You are the King of Kings. You are richer than Kuber himself. You are the healer par excellence. No one is superior to you. For the worship of other deities, the ritual is as prescribed. But for your worship, there is nothing worthy of you. Look, in the realm of the sun, the festival of Deepavali has come. But to celebrate it, what shall be the means? To quench the ocean's thirst, adequate water cannot be found on earth. To warm the fire, from where will the heat be found? All articles needed for the worship are filled with your essence. From the beginning, they are part of you. O Sri Samartha Guru Raya, all my talk is a philosophical statement, for I have not experienced this truth. I have spoken without experience, a meaningless maze of words. If ritualistic worship of you is to be performed by me, to do that I have no wherewithals, O Samartha Guru Raya. Mostly with the help of my imagination only will I worship you. That worship itself, O compassionate one, do accept from this slave. Now with my tears, I bathe your feet. The sandalwood of true devotion I make into paste and apply. The long tunic of these ornamental words I place on you sincerely. This garland of adoration I place round your neck. The incense of vileness I burn before you truly. Though it is of impure composition, even then there will be no foul odor from it. Elsewhere done before the Guru. If incense is burnt, what happens is that incense is like this. When the incense is put on fire, the moment it actually touches it, the fragrance from the incense leaves it instantly. Before you, it's the contrary. The impurities burn away in the fire. The good remains forever for the world to see. Now the vileness of the mind is burnt away. The mind will become purer. Once the Ganga's impurity is gone, then it is holy, naturally. The light of temptations I kindle most truly, from which may the lustre of asceticism be granted to me, O Guru Vara. The throne of pure faith I offered you as a seat. On receiving it, accept the offering of devotion. You partake the offerings of devotion. Give me the essence. Because I am your child, I have a claim to your milk. My mind is my monetary offering, that I offer to you. Therefore, the credit or discredit of any action will no longer be mine. Now, most humbly and devotedly, I do obeisance to you. Please accept it, O Divine Sainath. Eightfold Prayer. Possessing peaceful mind and wisdom supreme, Sainath the compassionate, your ocean of kindness, truth incarnate, and destroyer of the darkness of ignorance. The sage beyond caste and greed you are. Beyond comprehension, compassion incarnate, protect me, O Sainath of Shidi. You are the son of divine knowledge, the bestower of choicest blessings. O fabled Hamsa of the minds of the devotees, protector you are of those who surrender to you. You are Brahmadev, creator of the world. You are the sustainer of the world, Vishnu, the destroyer of the three worlds. You are that very Rudra. There is no place on this earth where you are not omniscient. O you Sainath, you dwell in all our hearts. Forgive us all our sins, I implore you, and those waves of doubts and delusions repel instantly. Your cow, I the calf, your moon, I the stone melted by its light. At your feet, which are like the Ganges, respectfully the slave bows down. Place on my head your hand and bless me, O Lord. Ward off my sorrow and worry, for this Ganu is your servant. With this eightfold prayer, I prostrate myself before. My sins, suffering, and poverty ward off immediately. You are the cow, and I the calf. You are the mother, and I the child. Do not harbor any harsh feelings towards me. You are the sandalwood from Malaigiri. I am the thorny bush. You are the life-giving waters of Godavari. I the greatest of sinners. If, after having your darshan, the impurities of my wicked mind remain unchanged, Guru Raya, who will then call you sandalwood? The proximity of musk makes even the dust more valuable. The fragrance of flowers is transmitted to the thread which ties the garlands. This is the way of the great. Whosoever they come in touch with, to him they impart a part of their greatness. sacred ashes, loincloth, and the bull, Shiva made symbolic parts of himself. Therefore, these objects are praised in all quarters. For the amusement of the cowherds, at Vrindavan on the banks of the Yamuna, the Lord of the world played the Hikala. That too has earned recognition from wise men. Similarly, I am a sinner, but I am under your protection. Will you not redeem me, O Guru Raya, from my sinful state? Worldly or spiritual, in whatever subject I seek satisfaction, I have no doubt, O Guru Raya, that you will grant me these. With your grace, control my mind. If the oceans are sweetened, there is no fear of their being salty. To make the oceans sweet, truly you have the powers. Therefore, this supplication of Das Kanu, please concede. Whatever be my shortcomings, they are all yours. You are the foremost among the spiritual masters. So, do not stint while giving. Now, why should I speak more? You are my only refuge. The child held in the mother's arms is naturally without fear. So be it. This hymn of praise, whosoever read with love, their desires fulfill, O Lord. Your blessings for this hymn I entreat. May the difficulties of he who receives this sincerely be warded off within a year. After performing all ablutions, should this hymn be recited regularly with a pure and sincere feeling in your heart? If this be not possible, then every Thursday, meditating on the Satguru in your mind, this hymn should be recited. Even this is not possible, then on every Ekadashi, this hymn should be read to realize the beneficial effect. One who recites this with faith will ultimately progress spiritually by the grace of Guru, who will satiate the material desires readily and thereby deliver him from their bondage. With repeated recitations of this hymn, dull wits will be sharpened, and if perchance someone's life is short, then by recitation he will live up to 100 years. Where wealth is wanting, Kuber, the Lord of Wealth himself, will come to stay. O reading this hymn, this is the truth, and so it shall be. To the childless, children will be born on reciting this hymn, and the ailments of one who recites this hymn will be dispelled in all directions. Fear and worry will disappear, prestige will increase. He will realize the imperishable Brahman with the regular recitation of this hymn. Regarding this hymn, O wise ones, have faith in your hearts about the efficacy of this hymn and give no place to doubts and misconceptions. Go on pilgrimage to Shirdi, concentrate on the lotus feet of Baba, who is the succor of the poor and the meek, the wish-fulfilling tree for the devotees. It is because of the inspiration received from him that this hymn has been composed. How well should an insignificant, ignorant one like me have written it? In Shake, 1840, in the bright half of the Bhadrapad month, on Ganesh Chaturthi day, Monday, in the second Prahar, this humble tribute of praise to Sri Sainath was completed at Maheshwara, by the sacred bank of the Narmada, near Sri Ahilya Devi Samadhi. At Maheshwara, the famous Tirtha, the hymn was completed. Sri Sainath made me utter every word by becoming part of my mind. The disciple, Damodar, becomes described truly. I, Das Kanu, am only an obedient servant of all the saints and sages. Peace be with you. May this humble tribute of praise to Sri Sainath help you cross the worldly ocean. This is a prayer with faith and respect of Das Kanu to Sri Panduranga. Let this be offered to Sri Harihara. Bless us, O Lord, Pundalik Varada, Hari Vittal. I recall Sita Kanta. Hail, hail Rama. Parvati Pate, Har Har Mahadev. Hail to Sri Sadguru Sainath Maharaj. Sri Sadguru Sainath, I offer this to you. Bless us, O Lord.
There is no doubt that every post on Omkar Jyoti channel will be a perfect solution to the problems we face in our daily life. Those who have not subscribed yet, please subscribe our channel and set the bell icon. Share to others. Only then will all published posts reach you instantly. Thank you.